Master Your Mindset Radio, episode 47.
Welcome to Master Your Mindset Radio, the show where we empower you to conquer limiting beliefs and transform your world with your gifting and purpose. Now for your host, Elizabeth Nader.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode. I am excited to have you here. I want to share with you a project that I'm working on right now because it is launching as we speak. And it also inspired this particular podcast episode. If you go to flattenyourfear.com, you will have the opportunity to sign up for a special summit I'm doing on Flatten Your Fear. It is 22 interviews with mentors, experts, thought leaders from all walks of life who are many people that you will recognize and have incredible stories of faith and overcoming fears and finding their purpose, pushing through obstacles. It's one video a day starting August 1st to be shared with you via email. And I really cannot encourage you enough to sign up for this summit and to watch it and to share the sign up page with others, because if you are battling with fear, and who isn't these days, you will find so much in each of these unique stories that will help you, tools and truth to help you overcome and flatten your fear. So I wanted to share that with you because I'm excited that it's launching. Go sign up for it. And one of those interviews I did was with Kenny Bayless. And if you are a boxing fan, you know who he is. He is the #1 pro boxing referee in the world. He's definitely regarded as that. He's pretty incredible. In fact, he played himself in Creed 2. So who doesn't love Rocky? I loved talking to Kenny. He is a man of great character and he has a story of overcoming many odds. But it reminded me of a podcast I had done earlier in the year about one of the Rocky movies and about just getting back up and the power of just getting back up and how powerful that can be. And in one of the Rocky movies, in fact, the winner of a particular boxing match was the boxer who literally just got back up. And I started thinking about that when I was talking to Kenny, and the word resilience kept coming to mind. So I thought I would share with you just a few minutes on today's podcast on the power of resilience and really digging into what resilience is, because that word is used quite a bit and I'm not sure that everyone understands it, but it's definitely a quality that we should all strive to have in our character. Let me give you the definition of resilience as defined by Psychology Today. Resilience is that ineffable quality that allows some people to be knocked down by life and come back stronger than ever. Rather than letting failure overcome them and drain their resolve, they find a way to rise from the ashes. So in a nutshell, what it really is your ability to bounce back. It is the measure of how quickly, easily, and effectively you can bounce back. So meaning when you face disappointment, when you face defeat, when you face failure, how quickly can you bounce back from that experience? How quickly can you continue with your life, learn from what happened to you, and move on with an optimistic and positive attitude? That is, in fact, resilience. Now, some people will talk about it as mental toughness, and I think that is also a fair description. That is also a personality trait that defines and predicts how you'll deal with stress, pressure, challenge, and all of that. Is how mentally tough are you? And I think that plays into a lot of different areas of our life. Part of mental toughness is your ability to be hardy, to deal with challenge and risk. It's part confidence, and also, focusing on what you can learn and gain from the experience, focusing on a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. But resilience is really more about how you recover from a setback. Perhaps mental toughness will keep you from experiencing that setback in the first place, but not always. We all experience failure. We all trip up. So focusing on how we bounce back, I think, is an incredibly helpful way for us to get the best out of the experiences that we have in life, to get the best out of those things that don't work out the way we necessarily want them to, and to get the best out of the failures that we are inevitably going to experience. Another synonym that people use for resilience is mental endurance. And I think that that is really about your inner strength, your willpower, your self-discipline, perseverance, all of that. It plays a role in how resilient you can be, but it's not the full story. It is just an aspect of resiliency, and so is fortitude. That's another one that I think applies to resilience, but it's, again, not the full picture. So let's talk about the characteristics of someone who could be considered resilient. And by the way, I hear a lot of parents talk about trying to build this trait into their children. And I definitely think that is a worthy cause. It's a worthy approach to raising your children, is building resiliency. If we were all to pause and think about what we're seeing in some of the generations up and coming, we may not be seeing the resiliency that we saw in previous generations. It may not be there like it was, let's say, in the World War II generation. Things changed, the world has changed, and maybe we've lost our ability to teach resiliency as we have in the past. Or maybe just circumstances have changed, and circumstances were the things that actually forced people to be more resilient in the past. So we may need to be more intentional about teaching resiliency to our children, and in fact looking at our lives and our character and determining if we can build more resiliency. So I want to share with you from Glenn Schiraldi, who is a resilience expert, and he's an author. He gave several examples, 17 in fact, of the characteristics of resilient people, strengths, traits, and coping mechanisms that are correlated with resiliency. So let me read you this list, and as I read it to you, pause and consider where you land on each of these characteristics. Number one is a sense of autonomy. So this is about having an appropriate separation or independence from your family, from your friends, from the ability to be self-sufficient, the ability to see yourself as different, unique, and to be able to be self-protecting, having your own goals. So sense of autonomy needs to be there. Number two is being calm under pressure. So this is about your ability to regulate your stress levels. Are you able to be calm under pressure? Or how calm can you be is a measure of resiliency. Number three is rational thought process. Now, I think that fits right into number two, is that if you have a rational thought process, if you're able to employ that, you have a tendency to be less reactive and less stressed when things happen to you. So rational thought process is important to resiliency. Number four is self-esteem, and that certainly is an important trait to have to be resilient. You need to have a balanced look at yourself, but you need to feel good about who you are and good about your abilities. Number five is optimism. Again, plays a role there as well, that you tend to look at the world from an optimistic standpoint, with the glass half full, not half empty. Number six is happiness and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one of those things where we are always, or should be, working on that our entire life, because we need to continuously try to understand who we are, why we are, what we are, and understand those people we have close relationships with in a way that allows us to have better relationships and a better handle on who we really are, and therefore how we react to what happens to us. Number seven is meaning and purpose. So this is all about believing your life matters and knowing you were created for something. Without that, it's hard to bounce back. Without knowing you have meaning and you have purpose, it's more difficult to bounce back from life's challenges. Number eight is humor. Now, some of us are better at this than others, but we all know people that have a good sense of humor. And a lot of those people are resilient, as long as I think it's based in some level of reality. But the ability to laugh at yourself, to laugh at situations, the ability to be lighthearted about things definitely plays into your ability to bounce back. Number nine is altruism. Now, this is learned helpfulness. This is love. This is compassion. This is the ability to give of yourself. That, again, not looking at yourself, eyes on other people, will help you be more resilient. Number 10 is character, integrity, and moral strength. Number 11 is curiosity, which is related to focus and interested engagement. Are you a curious person by nature? Number 12 in the resiliency traits is balance, so that you are engaged in a wide range of activities. You're not just focused on one thing in your life. You have pursuits, you have social and cultural pastimes, you have balance in your life. Number 13 is sociability and social competence. So this is about being able to bond with others, get along with others, commit to relationships, enjoy the interdependence that relationships bring. That is an important part of resiliency, because bouncing back is not just an individual activity. It's often better done as you have interdependency with others who will help you bounce back more quickly. Number 14 is adaptability. Now, adaptability is having that persistence, that confidence, flexibility, just knowing you can't control everything, very important, having creative problem-solving skills, and just the ability to cope. The ability to be adaptable is a huge part of resiliency. Number 15, intrinsic religious faith. Absolutely, 100% I agree with this, that those who are able to bounce back more effectively in life, more quickly, who are more resilient, you will find have a greater measure of faith, a greater measure of religious faith in their life, spiritual faith in their life. Number 16 is a long view of suffering. So resilient people are more willing to go through difficult times because they know they can come out of it, they know they'll bounce back, and they know that that difficulty will be turned for good if they have the right attitude. So rather than the complaining and being uncomfortable with suffering, they tend to take a longer view of suffering and understanding that it plays a role. And number 17 is good health habits. Let's not forget that. You can't bounce back, you can't be resilient if you're not getting good enough sleep, if you're not exercising, if you're not eating correctly, if you're not avoiding substances that hurt your body. All of those things play into your ability to deal with stress, your ability to bounce back from the challenges in life. So it's really about having awareness of all these things operating in your life. Awareness of yourself and awareness of your environment. Being able to manage your feelings effectively, keep a handle on your thoughts, manage your thought life, your emotions, your behaviors. All of this plays a role in someone's ability to deal with the inevitable ups and downs of life. It's called resiliency, and it's something that you can work on. It's something that you can develop. Each of us are born with different traits, and some of us have greater aspects of these 17 traits than others, but every one of those is one that we can build in our life if we choose to do so. So look for resiliency, build resiliency. You can be more resilient. It is an effort worth doing, because no matter what you do in life, you will trip, you will fail at times, and your ability to bounce back will dictate what your experience is. So be resilient, explore resiliency, and let's have more of it in our life. It's great to talk to you guys. Don't forget to go to flattenyourfear.com, because one of the ways to be more resilient is to deal appropriately with the fears that are holding you back. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for listening to Master Your Mindset Radio. Before you go, if you want to be part of a free online community of like-minded individuals for support, resources, and inspiration as you conquer your limiting beliefs and pursue your purpose, go to elizabethnader.com/community. That's elizabethnader.com/community, or search for Master Your Mindset Academy private group on Facebook. Looking forward to seeing you online.